Robbins Barstow was a lifelong, passionate advocate for whales. During the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, he produced a series of documentary films about the plight of whales and the global movement to save them.
In October 1992, an American folk singer named Donald Sineti visited Heidelberg, one of Germany's most romantic and historic cities. On a hillside overlooking the old town, the magnificent ruins of its ancient castle stand silhouetted against the autumn sky. Down below, the picturesque city nestles along the banks of the river Neckar, flowing westward towards the Rhine. Don Sineti came to Heidelberg singing for the whales.
In this windy weather, stormy weather, when the wind blows, we'll all go together. Oh, up jumped a humpback singing his song, jumping and laughing and splashing along. In this windy weather, stormy weather, when the wind blows, we'll all go together. And then come the sperm whale, and guess what he did? He come to the top with a 50-foot squid. In this windy weather, stormy weather, when the wind blows, we'll all go together. And then come the blue whale, if I do recall, of all the big ones, he's biggest of all. In this windy weather, stormy weather, when the wind blows, we'll all go together. And up jumped the right whale, you've left such a few. I sailed the world over and only saw two. In this windy weather, stormy weather, when the wind blows, we'll all go together. And up jumped the dolphin with her battle nose. Oh, she's a good friend that everyone knows. In this windy weather, stormy weather, when the wind blows, we'll all go together. And then come the orca, the killer they claim, but it's the whalers that deserve that name. In this windy weather, stormy weather, when the wind blows, we'll all go together. So the leaders of nations, we all must agree that killing the whale stop. Let them live free in this windy weather, stormy weather, when the wind blows, we'll all go together. So the leaders of nations, we all must agree that killing the whale stop.
Don Sineti, along with his longtime friend and fellow whale advocate, Dr. Robbins Barstow, also from the small New England state of Connecticut, had been invited to present a music and whale conservation program at the Heidelberg headquarters of the German-American Institute, which occupies all 3 floors of this corner building near the center of the city. Founded after World War II as a means of enhancing positive German and American interrelationships, the Institute sponsors a wide variety of programs under the dynamic leadership of its director, Jakob Kohlhofer. During a visit to the United States earlier this year, Jakob had become a good friend of Don and Robbins, so when they arrived at the door of the Deutsch Amerikanische Institute, he greeted them warmly.
Come in.
Yes. Never like this. Yes. It's never like this.
The lottery.
Here's the lottery. And here's our great exhibition.
Yes. A beautiful poster.
And you see all over this? And all is supposed to be dolphins.
A pot of dolphins.
During the months of October and November 1992, the German-American Institute in Heidelberg was sponsoring an international exhibition dealing with whales and dolphins and their relation to the global environment and the survival of our blue planet. In the lobby of the Institute building, there was an exhibit of posters, photos, news clips, books, and other dolphin and whale memorabilia. In addition to this, there was a major collection of specially donated blue pictures and other objects on display at the Heidelberg Castle, celebrating the great blue world of interacting dolphins and humans.
We're in wonderful Heidelberg, Germany. We're at the Deutsch American Institute, and I am with the director of the Institute, Mr. Jakob Kohlhofer. Jakob, what did you tell us about DAI?
Well, the DAI is a very old institution. As you know, Heidelberg was always very popular for Americans. And so after the war, they had also a cultural center here. At the beginning, it was an American institution, and tried to mediate between America, or the United States, and Germany. We tried to tell the local Germans more about America, and the local Americans, quite a number, tell them a little bit of Germany. It is a villa of the 19th century, and in a way not done for this kind of program, but we do our best. It's a wonderful building. This is just a foyer. There's a hall on each side. There's a huge library on the first or second floor. But look at this, a whale of a time.
Ah, yes, yes.
Well,
yes.
this is, I mean, normally we have over here, we have things too, but
Yes.
this is it.
You know, Jakob, I can't help but wonder, Heidelberg is magnificent and beautiful, but we are inland here.
Yes.
So tell me, why whales? Why whales?
Well, of course there are many species threatened.
Yes.
But the moment you address the whole world, I think there couldn't be anything better than a dolphin or a whale. And so we chose a charismatic dolphin to be the focus of our exhibition. And I think you can't go around with a deer that easily, you know? And you have to find, if you talk to people in the Orient or in Asia or somewhere else, you have to take a common denominator, and that is the whale.
The library,
It's a reference library. And this
Yes.
This is Brigitte. She's our chief librarian. Come here.
Hello, how are you? It's nice to meet you.
Yeah. And she is sort of the boss of this territory.
So you are the boss.
Well, no, but shall we?
Up on the 3rd floor, drawings of male and female narwhals, done by Don Sineti, who also is a noted whale artist, were added to the doors to distinguish the men and women's restrooms.
Now, this is my office over here.
The nerve center, so to speak, of
Yes.
DAI. Yes.
Yeah. And as you can see, with all the artistic people, it's as chaotic or creative.
To me, Jakob, this is a sign that much work is being done here. You know what they say about a clean table and a cluttered table?
No?
It is the cluttered table where positive, creative things
Well,
come from.
thank you. I mean, the focus of this initiative is the entire world, but we do it on behalf of the dolphins. And this is one of the programs we have on our drawing board. It's a very dear one, a special one. I think we can learn a lot from you as a citizen action group. We can learn from a kind of democratic grassroots. That's what I'm so happy about, that you are here.
Well, Jakob, I want you to know that in our feelings, the people of the world and the whales and dolphins of our planet are very appreciative of the efforts of DAI.
Well, thank you. It's little we can do, but we do it with some passion. Okay.
The city of Heidelberg became prominent in the Middle Ages when it was the seat of German rulers of the Palatine, known as electors, and it was involved in many European wars. But Heidelberg is perhaps most famous for its university, the oldest in Germany, having been founded in 1386. The city's most popular street is the Hauptstrasse, a mile-long pedestrian zone running straight through the heart of the old town. With his banjo on his shoulder, Don Sineti found here on Hauptstrasse a reminder of his first meeting 18 years earlier with Dr. Robbins Barstow in Hartford, Connecticut, at a pub there called the White Swan. Heidelberg, it appeared, also had a Weiss Schwan pub. Don thought that a suitable place for singing a traditional medieval folk song would be the University Square, with its lion well, surrounded by university buildings, shops, and students.
The gypsy rover came over the hill, down by a valley so shady. He whistled and he sang, and the greenwoods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. So ah-de-doo, ah-de-doo, da-day, ah-de-doo, ah-de-day. He whistled and he sang, and the greenwoods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. She left her father's castle gate, she left her own true lover, she left her servants and her estate to follow the gypsy rover. So ah-de-doo, ah-de-doo, da-day, ah-de-doo, ah-de-day. He whistled and he sang till the greenwoods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. Her father saddled his fastest steed and searched the valley all over, seeking his daughter at great speed, and a whistling gypsy rover. So ah-de-doo, ah-de-doo, da-day, ah-de-doo, ah-de-day. He whistled and he sang till the greenwoods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. At last he came to a mansion fine, down by the river Neckar, and there was music and there was wine for the gypsy and his lady. So ah-de-doo, ah-de-doo, da-day, ah-de-doo, ah-de-day.
The grounds and gardens of Heidelberg Castle are as old and almost as famous as the castle itself.
This is the statue of Father Rhine. Yes. See? You see those leaves of the grapes? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and you see the fig leaves are actually leaves of the grapes. This is sort of...
Many literary figures have been captivated by Heidelberg, including the American writer Mark Twain, who came here in 1878. But perhaps the city's most noteworthy visitor was the great German poet and dramatist Johann Wolfgang Goethe. Here he found happiness in loving and being loved by the woman who inspired some of his most beautiful lyrics.
Of the famous poem by Goethe, who wrote this beautiful collection of poems called the Westöstliche Divan. And I shall read you now these two lines in German. Und noch einmal fühlet Atem, Frühlingshauch und Sommerbrand. Dort, wo hohe Mauern glühen, finde ich den vielgeliebten. Which means in English, Hatem feels the scent of spring and the fire of summer, where high walls glow in the light. I find my lover, my dear lover.
Schloss Heidelberg has a fascinating history. Several times over the centuries it was almost completely destroyed in wars and battles for control of the city, and it kept being rebuilt in various stages and styles. At least twice the fortress was devastated by lightning. Today the remaining ruins are preserved and honored as dramatic reminders of bygone eras in the history of man on Earth.
We are at Heidelberg Castle, behind us, where this wonderful exhibit about whales and dolphins is now being shown. Could you tell us about the exhibit, Jakob?
Well, there is, in the year when millions celebrate Columbus, we wanted to insist that every one of us had to discover a new world, i.e. the vulnerable world. So we collected pieces from prominent people all over the world, and we exhibited these pieces in the castle here. The focus is the blue planet, but it will be auctioned off. The whole exhibition will be auctioned off on behalf of the dolphins in their environment.
The DAI exhibition of Blue Planet works of art and other mementos is housed on the ground floor of the Ottheinrich building, the upper floors of which have remaining only the stone walls and window frames open to the sky. The castle courtyard is faced by an incredible array of marvelous stone facades. On the north side, the windows are framed by giant statues of various rulers, a fantastic example of multifaceted Renaissance architecture. On the eastern side of the ancient courtyard is the Ottheinrich building, with massive cross-divided windows on the ground floor, and on the upper floors a wall of stone columns and statues framing the unprotected window spaces through which we see the sky beyond. A double set of ancient stone stairs lead up to the beautifully arched portal at the entranceway to the exhibit rooms on the ground floor, which now host the special 2-month exhibition of contributions from distinguished figures in the arts and sciences from around the world. In this museum building, a variety of medieval sculptures are permanently displayed along the walls and doorways. This historic place provides an incongruous but dramatic setting for the DAI exhibition so painstakingly assembled by Jakob Kerlhofer. As we enter this eye-opening world of blue, we hear in the background the underwater song of a humpback whale. Among the contributors of something blue or environmentally significant, amidst the hoary stone-carved human figures, are musician John Williams, a Japanese artist, composer Henry Mancini, and jazz great Dizzy Gillespie. All kinds of drawings and photographs are here displayed for thousands of visitors to view with awe, delight, and inspiration. American film actress Brooke Shields first sent in a signed photograph of herself. Then later there arrived from her a globe on the oceans of which she had written in blue ink, "Love and Kisses, Brooke Shields." One shocking symbolic piece of work was a three-dimensional portrayal of a pregnant Earth mother, suggesting the pending problems posed by continuing global population growth. A Native American artist has painted a lively blue-costumed dancer. It came as a surprise to most viewers to see that this striking charcoal drawing had been executed by the American film and television star Peter Falk. One of the unique items exhibited in a special display case along the east wall had been contributed by a famous entomologist. It was a blue, brilliantly colored beetle. This shoe was donated by none other than Yoko Ono. The British actor Sir John Gielgud contributed a small blue pouch. There also were original blue creations by well-known sculptors and potters. What a soul-searching portrait this photograph is, taken in a zoo. These contrasting surroundings seem to give special significance to this ancient statue of David with the head of Goliath. What better way to show the true blue of planet Earth than this astronaut's photograph from outer space? To leave the exhibit, one must physically touch and push one's way through these suspended globes. It is a hands-on exit experience. And as one leaves the castle hallway, seeking somehow to assimilate all of the exhibition's kaleidoscopic impressions, one is glad, in words taken from Walt Whitman, to rise and glide out by oneself in the mystical, moist night air, and from time to time look up in perfect silence at the sky. The next morning, in a change of pace, down by the old bridge gate with its twin Baroque towers, Don Sineti had the fun of playing Pied Piper with Jakob's 3 lively children, Elif, Denise, and Benny. A favorite American song for children of all ages is about the animals of the world and the beautiful unicorn, which the children told Don was called Einhorn in German.
A long time ago when the earth was green, there were more kinds of animals than you've ever seen. They ran around free while the earth was being born. The loveliest of them all was the Einhorn. You had your green alligators, your long-necked geese, your humpty-backed camels and your chimpanzees, your cats, your rats, your elephants, sure as you're born. The loveliest of them all was the Einhorn.
That evening, Don and his fellow American visitor, Robbins Barstow, were scheduled to present a song program and film lecture at the Deutsch Amerikanische Institute. To help publicize the event, Jakob had made arrangements for Don and Robbins to be interviewed on the street for a bite to eat before the evening program. The participants were pleased to see posted announcements about the meeting and the 2 presenters from USA with the theme of Wales Forever.
Look at this! Oh, boy! Da können wir einen kleinen Buschmann noch mit draufnehmen.
Der hält sich aber krumm. Der hält aber das Haar krumm.
It's like on a ship.
When the 8 o'clock hour came for the program to start in the DAI auditorium, there was an overflow crowd of more than 100 people in attendance. Outside the hall, Don had drawn a humpback whale on a blackboard. With an audience that included Heidelberg's woman mayor, Beate Weber, Jakob Hohlhofer introduced Don and Robbins.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome tonight to this particular program. It's a great honor to introduce you to 2 common people of the New World, and I'm particularly happy to introduce you two to the common people of Heidelberg, particularly also because I'm very pleased to have our first common person of our community here was Lady Mayor Beate Weber. Mean by it, for those we imported two common individuals from New England. Dr. Barstow, behind the camera. And Don Sineti, the shanty man. As you all know, the focus in that exhibition is on the blue planet. But we did this exhibition on behalf of the whales, i.e. the dolphin. Now, you may sort of have your second thoughts, why the dolphin? We chose it because of the need of an international symbol which may go for the whole planet. Now, here tonight you can look back, or maybe probably be inspired for the future, what a citizen action group can do. And I'm very happy again to introduce to you tonight America at its best. Dr. Barstow.
Thank you very much, Jakob. It's been a wonderful time that we've had here in Heidelberg so far. So nice to see the mayor here tonight. I can't tell you how good that makes us feel. But before we start the program, I just want to say we went up to the exhibition the other day, and on behalf of the whales and dolphins and people of the world, I want to thank Jakob for the tremendous job that he and his staff are doing with that exhibition. Now for the program. Later on tonight I will be doing examples of sea shanties and sailor songs for you. And it'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll get you to join in on these wonderful songs of the sea. But to start off the program tonight, I'm going to sing for you a song I wrote about saving whales. The part of the U.S. I come from was a major whaling area in the 1800s, New Bedford, Massachusetts. Famous whaling port. And closer to home, New London, Connecticut. And even now, I work and sing at a mystic seaport, which some of you may have heard about. It's perhaps the finest maritime museum in the world. And the last of the wooden whale ships is there. And this is a song I wrote about saving whales. I've traveled all over the oceans, hunting and searching for whales. And now I've returned to a mystic, so you listen and heed this sad tale. You listen, heed this sad tale. You listen and heed this sad tale. But now I've returned to a mystic, so you listen and heed this sad tale. I've sailed far into the Arctic and up the Bermuda shore, where once there were hundreds of thousands, and now there are less than a score. And now there are less than a score, and now there are less than a score. Where once there were hundreds of thousands, and now there are less than a score. Now don't be shy. You know how it goes now. So join in. I'm sure you can hear me way up there. They died from the harpooner's cannon. They died to put oil in our lamps. They died to bind women in corsets, and they died to put perfume on pants. They died to put perfume on pants. They died to London and mystic are quiet. They've heard the great whale's lonely plea. But still the killing continues. We must have peace on the sea. We must have peace on the sea. We must have peace on the sea. But still the killing continues. We must have peace on the sea. So let us join hands now together. The killing of whales it must end. And let us return to the ocean as humans, oh whales, good friend. As humans, the whales, good friend. As humans, the whales, good friend. And let us return to the ocean as humans, oh whales, good friend. As humans, the whales, good friend. As humans, the whales, good friend. And let us return to the oceans as humans, the whales, good friend. At this time, I'd like to introduce a real good friend of the whales, Dr. Robbins Barstow.
In 1974, Don Sineti and I he was the president, and I was the executive director, volunteer, a totally volunteer organization that became the Cetacean Society International. And all that time, we didn't worry about changing officers. We just wanted to keep on going. We had a lot of members. We recruited people, all kinds of talents. Everybody had something to do, and we tried to tap into that talent and get them to do it so that we could all work together. And what we're going to show you tonight is something exciting. It's an environmental success story. And by your being here tonight, each one of you becomes part of that environmental success story. And I'll introduce you again, Don.
Okay.
I want to start out my part of the program by asking you a question. Will all those people who are younger than 30 years, please stand up? You stood up to live your entire life during one of the most exciting and dramatic periods of history in terms of what has happened in relation to humans and to other forms of life on Earth. During the last 30 years, there has been a tremendous transformation that common people have been the cause of. It hasn't been kings and presidents and other rulers. It's been hundreds and thousands and millions of ordinary human beings in all walks of life all over the world that have brought about this change, this transformation. And what it has to do with is cetaceans. Let me ask all of you to say in English now, cetacean. Cetacean. Do it again. Cetacean. Okay, now there's a new word for you. The word cetacean is the scientific name for all whales, dolphins, and porpoises. That's a whole family of marine mammals. The whales are the big ones. The dolphins and porpoises are the small ones, but they're all cetaceans. And you know how you can tell them apart from fish? All fish have vertical tails. They swim like this. All cetaceans have flat, horizontal tails, and they swim like this. And you'll see in my movies why that makes a difference. Now, the exciting thing about this change, this transformation that's come about is that 30 years ago, before so many of you were even born, people didn't really know about cetaceans. They had not, they were just beginning to appreciate and marvel at the performances of dolphins in aquariums. I remember that about 25 years ago seeing some dolphins in the Frankfurt Zoo. Okay, that was just beginning. We were beginning to see it. But people didn't know what cetaceans looked like, what live cetaceans looked like. They hadn't seen boat whales underwater. Cousteau and the others, they hadn't taken their underwater photographs. They didn't know what tremendous beauty and power and grace the whales had underwater. You've seen films and you've seen videos, so you know what it is, but they didn't 30 years ago. They were just beginning to understand that cetaceans, whales and dolphins, were mammals. They weren't fish. They weren't like fish. They were air-breathing mammals that gave birth live to their babies, that they nursed them, fed them milk underwater. They had warm blood. This was a whole new thing that people were just beginning to learn then. They didn't know that whales sang these complex, complicated songs like the music that you heard listening as you came in here tonight. That was recorded underwater from a humpback whale in the Caribbean Sea just this last year. That no whale songs had been recorded. People didn't know about it. They didn't know that whales have and dolphins have brains that are as large or larger than our human brains, and they're just as complex and convoluted. The sperm whale, one of the big species of whales, the kind that Moby Dick was, has a whale that weighs a brain that weighs 20 pounds. That's 4 or 5 times the weight of our human brain, and it's just as complex and convoluted. The Russian scientist that first studied the sperm whale said it has to be considered a thinking animal. Okay, all of these things that we didn't know about whales before. We didn't go whale watching. There wasn't any whale watching 30 years ago. You wouldn't have heard the song. That darn song hadn't been written 30 years ago. This whole thing has come about and just in the last 30 years, and it's really been an exciting and gratifying thing to see this explosion of knowledge, because you know why education is important. When people know about things like whales and dolphins, about cetaceans, when they find out all these things about them, then they start to care. And when people care, then they start to act. And they've acted in the last 30 years to bring about this total change in the relationship between humans and cetaceans. Because the one thing that we used to do supremely well was to kill whales. And exactly 30 years ago, in 1962, commercial whale killing reached its absolute peak. In that 1 year, more great whales were slaughtered on all the oceans of the world than in any other year in history. 62,000 great whales were killed by human beings in 1962, just exactly 30 years ago. Now that was the peak, and since then there's been this falling off and the change, and that's what I'm going to show you tonight. Now this is an amateur documentary film that I've made over the past 30 years, and there are pictures, almost all of them, that I've taken myself, and I want to emphasize that despite what Jakob said, we're all little tiny pieces of a mosaic. And it isn't that any one individual or any one group does everything. It's that each one of us is a little part of it. And this film will show you about our own Cetacean Society in Connecticut, and a little bit about Greenpeace and the American Cetacean Society and other groups. But it isn't just a small group. Because you see, the secret of it is a tidal wave that can't be resisted is made up of an infinite number of single drops of water. So what our job is to do is to be one of those drops of water and to latch onto the right tidal wave. That's important. We've got to be part of the right. when you have, keep at it, and when you have people like Don singing the kinds of songs he does, and all the people you'll see in our film, you'll see that it can be done, that rallies can really rally people to support a cause, and that rallying can bring about literally a change in the world, because whales are symbolic of the whole environmental movement. And so when we talk about saving whales, we're really talking about saving the world in a profoundly important way. So now what I'd like to do is to invite, I hope you can all see the screen, and Jakob, you said you'd open the curtains for us here.
At this point in the program, Robbins showed the 45-minute film he has produced documenting the worldwide movement of the past 30 years to save the whales. Then he introduced Don Sineti to demonstrate the art of sea shanties.
Now, the other kind of music that was an essential part of the sailor's life were the shanties, although the sailors never considered the shanties to be music. The shanty to the sailor, the tall ship sailor of the 1800s, was like the carpenter's hammer, his saw. It was a tool to be used, in this case, for raising yards and sails that could weigh 2 tons. And I sing shanties at Mystic Seaport. We have some tall ships down there. And when the job is done, I can be right in the middle of a verse, and the job is done, and the mate will yell, "High enough." The shanty stops right there. We do not finish the verse. The tool has been used. When the carpenter saws through a piece of wood, when he gets through the wood, he doesn't take the saw and do it in the middle of the air. Or the hammer, you know, the nail's in it. He's not going to go walking down the street with his hammer like this, you know. I know, I do carpentry too, so I know that. So, people, when they first hear this, wonder what's happening, but the tool has been used. The tool has done its job. So here's the shanty. You have to imagine we're on board a sailing ship. It's the 1800s. The microphone will not be invented for many years yet. So we have to sing this out. And then singing it out, our strength becomes incredible. There was a saying on board the sailing ships that a good shanty was worth 10 men on a line. 10 men on a line. And I remind them that at Mystic all the time. So here we go. All on the bowling, the bowling, bowling, bowling. All on the bowling, the bowling. Ho! All on the bowling, a kisses me darling. All on the bowling, the bowling. Ho! All on the bowling, a kitty lives in Liverpool. All on the bowling, the bowling. Ho! All on the bowling, and burst the tape and leather. All on the bowling, the bowling. Ho! Now what I want you to do is the shanty man leads this thing in. Not so short. But anyway, here's the best known of the halyard shanties. Here we go. As I went a-walking down Paradise Street, way, hey, blow the man down, a pretty young damsel I happened to meet. You give me some time to blow the man down. See, what we're doing is we're passing this line along. We're not moving our feet at all. Our feet are anchored on the deck, and in a sense, and 5 of us can get up this yard going this way. So we're just really just passing this line along as the yard and the sail goes up the mast. Okay, so she hailed with her flipper, I took her in tow, way, hey, blow the man down, and yard arm to yard arm, away we did go. Give me some time to blow the man down. Blow the man down, bullies, blow the man down. Way, hey, blow the man down. Blow the man down to the Liverpool town. Give me some time to blow the man down. We're Liverpool born, and it changes tonight. We're Heidelberg born, and we're Heidelberg bred. Way, hey, blow the man down. We're thick in the arm, and we're thick in the head. Give me some time to blow the man down. It's blow the man down, boys. Blow the man down. Way, hey, blow the man down. Blow the man down to the Liverpool town. Give me some time to blow the man down. So that's a double pull halyard shanty. And you can see in between, they're catching their breath while the shantyman is making up these other words. Then we pull, and that's the certain time, and that yard goes up.
The following day, a visit was made to the top of the 600-meter mountain above the Heidelberg Castle called Königstuhl, or King's Seat, where there is a hotel and restaurant and a marvelous view down into the river valley below. From here one can see the other side of the Neckar River, where there is a famous hillside walkway called Philosopher's Way, reputed to be the loveliest promenade in all of Europe. This provided Don with the perfect setting for one of his favorite songs.
A-ro-ho-vin, a-ro-ho-vin, a-ro-vin's been here, oh, I am now gone among, a-ro-ho-vin with you, fair maid. In Heidelberg there lives a maid, mark well what I do say. In Heidelberg there lives a maid, she is the mistress of her trade. I'll go no more, a-ro-ho-vin with you, fair maid. A-ro-ho-vin, a-ro-ho-vin, the rovin's been near, oh, I and I'll go no more, a-ro-ho-vin with you, fair maid. Her lips were like the rubies red, mark well what I do say. Her lips were like the rubies red, with a wreath of hair upon her head. I'll go no more, a-ro-ho-vin with you, fair maid. A-ro-ho-vin, a-ro-ho-vin, a-ro-vin's been me, ooh, I and I'll go no more, a-ro-ho-vin with you, fair maid. Hers like the lilies white, mark well what I do say. Her shoulders like the lilies white, her eyes were dark and oh so bright. I'll go no more, a-ro-ho-vin with you, fair maid. I put me hand upon her knee, mark well what I do say. I put me hand upon her knee, she says, John, you're rather free. I'll go no more, a-ro-ho-vin with you, fair maid. I put me hand upon her thigh, mark well what I do say. I put me hand upon her thigh, she says, Don, you're rather high. I'll go no more, a-ro-ho-vin with you, fair maid. A-ro-ho-vin, a-ro-vin's been me, ooh, I and I'll go no more, a-ro-ho-vin with you, fair maid. And when I came home from the sea, mark well what I do say. And when I came home from the sea, I saw her on Jacob's knee. I'll go no more, a-ro-ho-vin with you, fair maid. A-ro-ho-vin, a-ro-ho-vin, the rovin's been me, ooh, I and I'll go no more, a-ro-ho-vin with you, fair maid. A-ro-ho-vin, the ro-ho-vin, the rovin's been me, ooh, I and I'll go no more, a-ro-ho-vin with you, fair maid.
To complete whale singer Don Sineti's 1992 visit to Heidelberg on behalf of the Blue Planet, it was necessary, of course, for him to voice one final ballad of the sea from the walls of the castle itself. Visitors from all over the world find irresistible the view from the castle terrace facing the river. And here, next to the balustrade, as evening fell, Don sang his fond farewell.
Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home land, rolling home, dear land to thee. All hands to man the capstan, see the cable running clear. Heave away with a will me boys, for New England we will steer. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land to thee. Fare thee well, ye German maidens, for it's time to say adieu. Happy hours we spent together, happy times we spent with you. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land to thee. Many thousand miles behind us, many thousand miles before, the ocean lifts her waves to bring us to our dear New England shore. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Up aloft amid there again, there's a wild and a rushing gale, like a monsoon in the springtime, filling out each well-known sail. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land to thee. Round Cape Horn, one frosty morning, with our sails all full of snow, clear the sheets and sway the halyard, swing her out and let her go. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land to thee. Many thousand miles behind us, many thousand miles before, the ocean lifts her waves to bring us to our dear New England shore. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land to thee. All hands to man the capstan, see the cable running clear. Heave away with a will me boys, for New England we will steer. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land to thee.
More of Robbins Barstow's whale documentaries are available on the BTA Films channel on YouTube. Click here to subscribe or follow these links to other films by a master of home movie storytelling in the pre-digital era.